In this video, we're going to talk about inspiration and combating writer's block. Hi, my name's Elliot Deutsch. I'm a composer and arranger from Los Angeles, California, and I've been writing for big band for a long time. And the number one piece of advice I give to, writers in earlier stages of their writing career is to constantly be writing. Always be writing. From the Glenn Ross School of Jazz Arranging. So, by the way, before I get into this, why don't you hit subscribe? Gross. Hit the subscribe button. Smash the like button if you want to level up your game and other nonsense. And check out Patreon, because it helps me a lot. Nothing silly about that. Patreon. It's a good thing. The best way to learn how to write for big band is to write for big band. Now that seems kind of reductive, but follow me down this journey. So I was asked recently by a younger writer, how do I come up with inspiration in order to write something? Or more specifically, how should they combat their writer's block when they can't think of anything to work on? I've experienced lots of writer's block, as I think every single writer that's ever written anything does constantly. And there's several ways to kind of break free from it. My number one method, if I can't think of something to write, I'll choose something to arrange. Just grab a hold of some American songbook song that you've always liked, or maybe you heard something on the radio that you enjoyed recently and think you could do a jazz band version of it, and just go ahead and arrange it. While you're still in the early part of your arranging career, you just need to write many, many arrangements. Choosing a song and arranging it, don't worry about it being something 100% new. A really easy way to put your own spin on an arrangement of an existing tune is give it a groove that you might not expect for that tune. So take Days of Wine and Roses and make it a samba. Or take Blue Bossa and make it a jazz waltz. I mean, any of these kind of taking a tune in one style and putting it into another style is a pretty safe way to be putting your own spin on that tune. Something that really helped me early on in my arranging development was choosing something new that I haven't done with each chart that I arrange. So if you've never arranged a samba before, choose a tune that's not a samba and arrange a samba. Jump headfirst into it, and that should be enough inspiration to kind of get you through it. Maybe you've never written a soft shout. Maybe you've never arranged a tune with a sub-ensemble of a trumpet, a tenor sax, and a trombone. Maybe you've never done a sax solo with soprano lead. Maybe you've never written a section with 4 flutes, or 5 flutes, or 2 flutes and 2 clarinets. Maybe you've never written for bass clarinet. Maybe you've never taken a tune from swing to straight eighths back to swing again, or written a double time section. Don't try to knock all of these out in your next chart, but choose one of these things and try to build your arrangement around it. And that'll force you to learn how to actually do that particular technique. And the more techniques like that you've worked your way through, the better arranger you will become. Take an arrangement or a tune that you really, really like and write your own song that hits upon the parts of that original that you liked, but it's your own. So, for instance, my composition, The Cassowary, is heavily, heavily based on the Jaco Pastorius big band version of The Chicken. I love that recording, and I thought I should try doing a chart like that because I've never done one like that before. So I wrote a head that was reminiscent of The Chicken and arranged it using the same techniques that I heard from that recording. And of course, I figured out a lot of things along the way, and now I'm able to do charts in that style. When it comes to actually finishing this chart, it can be really tough. So check out my video called Form. In fact, I'll link it up here. And in that video, I talk about breaking down a tune into how many choruses you play and how many measures you have to work with to get your arrangement to the specific length that you want it to be. For me, segmenting the arrangements into bite-sized chunks, for lack of a better way to put it, makes it a lot easier to get through a chart. I can sit down and write an entire melody section in 3 or 4 hours. And then if I know I want to write a sax solo and a shout chorus and then recap some of the melody, then it's a matter of sitting down and spending 3 or 4 hours on the sax solo, and then another day sitting down and spending 3 or 4 hours on a shout chorus. And I don't have to do them in that order. If I know what I want the shout to sound like, I'll write it first. Then I'll write a sax solo that builds into that shout. And by the time I've written the shout, I might realize I don't want a sax solo, that instead I want a soft shout. Or maybe I want solo backgrounds that build straight into that shout chorus. You can always change your plan, but having a plan at first just makes finishing the chart just a matter of checking off all the boxes until it's all done. I guess one final thing, I would do a lot of listening. If you're not listening to big band, it'll be tough for you to come up with big band things to write. But if you are listening to big band, it should be easy because every writer has their own style. So I've been listening recently a lot to Jacob Mann's new album, and he has all kinds of really cool techniques in his compositions that are very different than what I do, and it's inspiring to me to really think about how he achieved these different sounds. And hopefully some of you are listening to my recordings and having that same thought. If you're looking for inspiration, here's a couple of good big band albums for you to listen to. Check out Stan Kenton's Kenton 76, or check out Quincy Jones' Q's Juke Joint. All right, that wasn't a top 10 list, but 3 albums for you to check out. Also Jacob Mann. So with that, don't forget to hit subscribe. We crossed 5,000 subscribers recently, and I can't believe it. I can hardly believe it. I haven't been posting as much recently, and I'm sorry about that. For those of you that know me personally, you know I've been teaching a lot recently, and that's been taking away a lot of my attention from producing YouTube content. But hopefully, as the summer kicks in, I'll have a lot more time and be able to really ratchet this back up again like it was before. But in the meantime, go ahead and leave some inspiration in the comments. Let me know about any great jazz records that are inspiring you, or if you have any other techniques to beat writer's block. So until next time, goodbye.